country music and home to the last great Coliseum, Bristol, Tennessee. Today, it's a little overcast. The sun was out earlier, poked through for a while. Rain this morning, currently 66. With a heavy overcast and dark clouds. Well, this track just gets faster and faster as the years go by. We're going to put up some notable pole sitters and show you how they've done here. Now, you note up there toward turn 3, that's how far Fred Lorenzen would have gotten by the time some of our notables like Denny Hamlin got around to the line at 14:57. There's Jeff and Darrell, who are part of that evolution of the pole speed here, evolution of just about everything. 12 Bristol wins. No, 7 in a row. The 12, somebody might have a shot at that. 7 in a row at this track or anywhere, Jeff, I've got to think that's not going to happen. But today, we ran 1480s in practice. How about getting down to Denny Hamlin's record time?
Yeah, so about 2.5 tenths. The track's pretty cool. I mean, these are perfect conditions, and they didn't even run that lower lane that has this traction compound in it. Just had not gotten the grip in practice. So I think it's possible. They're going to be really close, and even Darrell, I think you feel like they're going to get there.
Yeah, I think they'll run the 50s, 14:50. I know 57 is a record, but I think they'll be in the 50s. These guys always pick up when they get ready to go qualifying. I think there's an incentive. I think with this aero package, the horsepower they have, the spoil they have, I think there's an incentive for somebody to say, this is my chance to break that track record. And if you can do something special at Bristol, that's special.
When you were winning poles here, were you on the top of the track or the bottom?
I don't know.
We'll go to the videotape. But first, Jamie Little.
Well, that's ironic, Mike, because that is the question down here. Where are you going to run, the top of the track or the bottom of the track? And we just saw the Xfinity cars there, Joey. So what is it? What do you think you'll do?
Wait and see. It's funny because, there's no Cup drivers in the Xfinity field, so you're watching what lanes are going to be the fastest, and, for us practicing, it was right in the middle, and it seemed like it was like that for most of the day until the last, maybe 30, 40 minutes of that final Xfinity practice. You start seeing the bottom get stronger and stronger. The thing is none of us have ran any laps on the bottom, so we don't know what our cars are going to do there, but if it's the fastest way around, we're all going to have to do it. So I think it might be a little bit of a monkey see, monkey do game, and hopefully we make the right choice with our Auto Trader Fusion or Mustang. We got Mustangs now. I keep forgetting.
It's your Mustang now. And Joey Logano hoping to get his first pole here since he was 19 years old back in 2010. Vince.
Well, another former pole winner is this young man, Kyle Larson. What we saw in practice and what we're going to see in qualifying, how similar or how different will it be?
Judging off Xfinity practice, they were able to get the VHT finally worked in. It was really slick when we were out there, and then seemed slick for their whole first attempt to run down there. Maybe some people run the middle knowing what lap time they can run.
Where are you going to run?
I don't really know yet. So hopefully we wait a little bit and can watch some good cars go. But I think it's going to be a standoff at the end of pit road, not for a draft, but to see where we need to run. So our Colonel Bank Chevy was a handful the first couple runs of practice, but I felt like the final run we got it feeling right, more typical how I like feeling here. So we'll see how it goes. Hope we can qualify good and get a good pit stall selection and then make our car good in race trim tomorrow.
Hey, Mike, if Kyle Larson doesn't know where he's running, that in itself is worth watching.
I'm scratching my head. I think if the top way is the fast way around.
Yeah. Retiring at the end of this year, not done yet. Got a few races to go. At the end of this year, I'll retire, and somebody else will get up there and work with Jeff Gordon and Mike Joy and have as much fun as I had. They say you get what you give. Well, I gave a lot, but I got a whole lot more in return.
And so did we, Darrell. And it's been just a thrill for 19 years to call you partner and to share this booth, and knowing that every time you walk into this booth, it lights up. Barb doesn't even have to throw the switch. The whole place lights up because you're ready to have fun and us enjoy it and have fun with you.
Yeah, I'm probably guilty of pegging the old fun meter at
That's
time
all
or
right.
two, but
I'm good with that.
I just love doing it.
And I've not been up here as long as Mike and with some of these others like Larry and the gang. But, buddy, thank you for everything you've taught me. I've had a blast being up here with you. And that press conference to me was totally Darrell Waltrip. It was heartfelt and entertaining.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. Yeah, it was hard to do, but I'm glad that's behind me because we still got a lot of races to run the rest of this year. And I won't really know how much I miss all of you and this sport and everything until next February. And when all you guys load up to go to Daytona and I'm still in Franklin, Tennessee, that's when it's going to hurt.
Well, you owned the room, and what no better place to do an announcement like that than this, Darrell's house.
I like this place. It's been pretty good to DW.
All right. Let's see who this track is good to today after this. The first of 3 rounds of knockout qualifying. 10 minutes, rounds 1 and 2. 5-minute break in between. 5-minute final round. Joe Gibbs Racing here in qualifying has won 8 of the last 11 Bristol poles.
That's our track record holder right there. Sorry, Jeff. Didn't mean that.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, 14:57. I believe we can go faster than that. If the track's got a little bit better and these tires are as good as they say they are, these cars are awesome the way they've got them, the aero package. I think we can go faster in 14:57, and I never thought I'd say that.
Now, here's a question I have. I mean, Denny Hamlin's pretty hot right now. He's won 2 races, including the Daytona 500 last week at Texas, and he's the record holder here. Can he be the one to leave here today if that record is set as the record holder?
So NASCAR has designated the lane right next to the pit boxes and right out near the wall as the staging area. If you come up the middle, as Ryan Preece just did, you've got to go.
And I'm excited to watch Ryan Preece run this racetrack this weekend. He has 2 wins here, 1 in a modified, 1 in Xfinity, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. He's a great short track racer. He's going to show these other drivers out there just what kind of speed is right around the bottom through that traction compound.
Yeah, he's right down in that traction compound. Whoop, lost a little bit of time right there for sure. See how it affects his lap.
And there's no doubt there's something about the heat of the tires and the heat of the rubber that's laid into that traction compound that activates and allows the maximum amount of grip. So you got to be careful going into it too early. We saw in practice most cars that ran fast were about a car width or more up the racetrack.
Yeah, and I think, Jeff, that's why these guys are waiting. They want some cars to go out, get a little heat, not much, but a little bit of heat in that traction compound, see if they can make it work.
Chris slipping and sliding half a lane higher. Yeah. But the good thing about this format is you can run as many laps as you want within the 10 minutes.
And that's exactly what it looks like. Some of these drivers that are out there early, like Landon Castle, Ryan Preece, they are making multiple laps to try to get the heat in the tires and maybe even get some heat in that lower groove.
Yeah, Landon Castle just won a 15-17. It's not a bad lap. Back in the day, that would have been pole lap, but we'll see where it ends up today.
Quinn Huff in the 77.
Hey, Mike, Jeff, when you say back in the day, how far back do you go? I mean, how far back in the day do you go?
Well, back in the day, to me, would have been in the 90s, mid to late 90s.
Darn, I did it again. Quinn Huff in the 77. I hope he runs with us every week. We'll figure that out.
All right, so what's back in the day?
Well, that'd be back in the 80s for me. So that's kind of, I was in the 80s, you were in the 90s. You got these cats who are in the 2000. Now we got, here we are, 2019.
See if Timmy can keep from going up the hill here as he picks up speed in the 66.
That was good, Mike. Look, the bottom pretty nice right there through 1 and 2. I've noticed that 1 and 2 seems to have a little bit more grip down lower where you can hook it down there and it doesn't seem to step out near as much as 3 and 4. And you look at this track and it looks like it's symmetrical. But, Darrell, you've run enough laps here to know it is not. Both ends of the racetrack are quite a bit different the way you drive here.
It's always amazing me when we talk about tracks being the same. It's the entry to the corner that's so different. Entry to turn 1 to me and off 2 was difficult, really hard. Turn 3, a little bit more of a sweeper.
Yes.
Kind of got in there and the car didn't move around as much as it did at 1 and 2. 1 and 2 was a challenge.
So here's Timmy Hill on his 4th lap. 3rd lap was the quickest, 15:74. You know, guys, watching practice earlier today, and I do think this track has gotten better since we had that Cup practice. I think lap 3, maybe even lap 4. But here we are. We've got basically over 30 cars to still make a qualifying run, and we're closing in on 5 minutes to go. They're going to be driving over the top of each other again. And are you the least bit surprised?
Yeah, and complaining about somebody getting in their way.
Well, now, I think this is going to be a real test of what this track has in it. And this is what you got. Ty Dillon on the left, and you got Kyle Larson. He was in the top 10 in practice. So if Kyle can put up a lap, I believe you'll start to see a flood of cars leave the end of pit road.
Well, it's not a bad lap, 14.99. So that's first car into 14's the 13th car. Ty Dillon, see if he picks up on his second lap.
And
he does.
He does. Goes at 14.89. That's close to what we saw in practice. I think you're going to start seeing more and more cars go, because once you break into the 14-second bracket, that tells me the grip is there.
Now, on his first lap, Larson was above the traction compound. These last 2 laps, he is right in it, and he is fastest.
Pretty good, Mike.
14.70, quicker on lap 2.
We're closing in.
We're getting close.
14.57 is the track record.
And Larson, you heard him say, I don't know if I want to run higher, I'm going to run low. I think he had one of each. You run a low lap and a high lap. Low lap seemed to be the quickest.
It did.
Well, and I think getting some heat in those tires in that higher lane and then shooting to the bottom, he kind of had, his first lap was a 79, I believe. And so that was really good enough probably to transfer. He took that second lap to test that bottom groove out.
And now everybody's in the bottom groove in 3 and 4 after seeing what Larson did.
Yeah, and talking about Kyle Larson, but also the guys, Ricky Stenhouse, watch out for this guy. This is a track where he's had good success, and I tell you, that car has been pretty good this year. I would watch out for Ricky Stenhouse.
Almirola to the top.
Ooh.
14.69.
On it. Oh, they're going to go, I think they're going to go 14.50. That's what I think. Why you look at me like that? You don't think they will?
I think it's going to be entertaining, one way or the other.
Well, what I find interesting is Almirola, he was 11th fastest in our first practice, so it wasn't even one of the faster cars. I really thought those Penske cars looked really strong, especially the 12 of Ryan Blaney.
Now, Austin Dillon just ran way up near the wall in 3 and 4, completely contrary. Now he's on the bottom this time through. As Kyle Busch, same thing.
Yeah, you could see as he dove into turn 3, the right side just didn't have the grip that he was looking for.
No, not yet.
So for round 1, 2 laps seems to be the charm. Bowman 5th on his 3rd lap.
And Mike, even though you mentioned you could run as many laps as you want here, but we saw at the last short track race that we went to at Martinsville, where saving the amount of laps on the tires paid off in the later rounds, round 2, round 3 for our pole sitter Joey Logano, Martinsville. I kind of think the same thing here, not as much, but I still think the least amount of laps on the tires, the better you'll be later.
I think the only thing I like about running multiple laps, maybe 3 laps or 4, is you get your timing down. If the tires are not giving up much and you can get you get in the corner a little harder, you get the gas a little quicker, it makes a huge difference in lap time.
Now, Denny Hamlin ran just 2 laps. Jimmy Johnson, who is 5th fastest, is on his 2nd lap, and he jumps up to 2nd.
Big gain for Jimmy Johnson. They struggled a little bit in practice. I watched that car really, really loose.
Clint Boyer, 3 laps. Eric Jones in the fast 5 with 3 laps. And here comes Ryan Blaney, who was fastest in practice. Joey Logano, left of your screen. Blaney on the right. 2 of the Penske Fords.
Whoa.
Blaney to the top. 67.
And that was one lap, guys. 1 lap.
1 lap ran.
He's only going to go faster.
He's only going to run 1 lap.
That's impressive.
I ran a 67. That's all I'd want to run. I come in and catch my breath. Because, Mike, believe it, this place is breathtaking. When you leave pit road, you have to remember to breathe, because you hold your breath going around here. You go so fast.
Now, Logano 19th after 2 laps.
Here for Logano.
And jumps up to 11th, yes.
Guys, mid-high 1480s is going to be borderline transfer to the next round. Did you ever think we'd see that?
No. You're right, Larry. No. Right now, the bump is 1491 is 24th fastest Chris Buescher.
Yeah, Larry, I never thought I'd see it, and I'm darn sure glad I don't have to do it. Goodness gracious.
Nice turn 1 and 2 for Brad Keselowski. Ty Dillon back out on track.
So is Ryan Preece. So is Landon Castle.
Two-car looks pretty sporty.
Tift, McLaughlin out there.
I hope that first lap's going to do it. This second lap certainly not. You saw Brad Keselowski slide up the groove. Little wiggle there into 3.
10 seconds.
He's 21st right now. He's going to have to pick it up.
Now, when time ends, that's the end of time to start a lap.
I guess he's going to end up being safe there, but boy, not by much.
No, not at all. I'm surprised.
So McDowell saw the flag. Matt Tift can come back, and so can Ryan Preece. Let's see if they bump in. Nope.
No. Boy, that's got to be pretty disappointing for Ryan Preece, especially knowing that he likes this racetrack.
He picked up 4 spots, Jeff, but does not make the top 24. Ty Dillon is the cutoff at 14:89. And Ryan Blaney, fastest in practice, 1 lap in round 1. The fastest one. And probably the biggest surprise is right there. Kurt Busch, who won here last August, will not transfer through to round number 2. And here's a look at why.
Yeah, this is turn 1 as he goes into the corner. It looked like the front was cutting extremely aggressive as he turned down and loaded into the banking. And the back end really steps out a little bit there also in 3 and 4, but nothing like turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, once he had that experience here in turn 1,
you can see it wiggle again.
You can see again. I think once you have that experience, you slow down a little bit in 3 and 4, but it kills your lap time.
Well, Chris Buescher missed it by 1.5 hundredths of a second.
It's amazing, and just sitting here watching that replay of Kurt, and you were running down in that grip strip area as well, the traction compound. What was your take on it?
It took a long time to come in today, so I guess once I'd thank the K&N and the Xfinity guys for running it in and getting it to where we could go down there. It's nice for it not to be so slick like it was for our practice, but I was hoping for more out of our Busch's Baked Beans Camaro ZL1. Thought we had a little bit more, and that's tight. I mean, to look at that, it's Bristol. It's always tight, but we're better than that. We'll keep after it, and we got plenty of practice to work on a little bit more and keep digging.
Jamie?
And Bubba Wallace, one of those drivers that missed it as well, but it's been an interesting day. What was your take on qualifying in the line that you chose?
Yeah, so a lot of us were up there. I know I've seen Matt Tift, David Reagan, Matt DiBenedetto. We were all standing up there watching on top of the haulers, watching Xfinity practice to see where they were. And you had like kind of a majority of lines, so that was nice to see maybe for the race, but we knew the speed was going to come in on the bottom. It took K&N and Xfinity rubber to get laid down there, to get a little friction, get that thing heated up. So dove off in there, and it really was great. It was a total different race car from first practice just because we didn't run through that stuff. So the guys did a good job at shooting it in the dark and just didn't have the speed. You know, as I was just saying, when the car drives good, you don't have any speed, it's kind of your worst nightmare. So we'll work on tomorrow, get it in race trim, and go have some fun in our blue Emu Chevy.
All right, Bubba will roll off 28th on Sunday, Mike.
Thanks, Jamie. Did you know Bubba Wallace and Clint Boyer were in the back of the room during your press conference?
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Paying close attention.
Boyer's one of I love Boyer. He's one of my favorite people. I think he's one of the race fans' favorite people, and you never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
That's true. In round 1, the fastest 23 cars were faster than the pole here last year for this race.
Oh, that's amazing.
That just goes to show you what that big spoiler on the back of these race cars will do. And a year the team's working on some development, too.
They got a lot of power here, too.
Yeah, 750 horsepower this weekend on the shorter track.
Now, one thing that is different this year is the Cup teams are staged initially on the backstretch. They kind of flip the haulers so that the Cup Series haulers are on the backside of the infield and the Xfinity haulers are on the front stretch side. So they've kind of flipped things so those cars roll off, and those tents at the top of the screen, that's where the Cup teams work on their cars during practice.
You know, the other thing that amazed me, Mike, on round one was that there was only about 0.2 of a second between first and 24th.
Yeah.
Wow.
But Mike, when you look at that, when you look at all those haulers in the infield here, I don't know how a fan at home feels or a fan here in the stands, but that's impressive. That you can pack all these haulers in such a small area, so precisely parked. If you ever watch them do it, it's really, these drivers are so precision at what they do, and get them all in there, and everybody looks pretty happy.
There are 93 race cars in the infield today.
Goodness gracious.
Counting the Monster Energy Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the K&N Pro Series.
That's a lot of cars.
Yes, it is.
That's a football field of trucks.
You got that right. I love it.
And here we sit with 8.5 minutes to go in round two.
You know, only thing I don't like about that picture, Jeff? One of those haulers isn't mine. That was always.
I think you always have a hauler.
Well, you
in a
can
race
find a
car
place to
sitting out
go,
there
that's
this
for
place.
sure. But it's sure nice to have a hauler down there.
You got a grandstand.
Okay.
You got the most wins.
And it is the biggest grandstand here.
I'll take it. I love it. Okay, forget the truck. I'll take the grandstand.
So Ryan Blaney counting a cool-down lap. He only ran one lap at speed. That will give him a bit of an advantage, and maybe Ricky Stenhouse as far as least laps on their tires. Of the drivers that advance, Kevin Harvick is in that category, and so is Brad Keselowski.
But I would say also Ryan Blaney might have a little speed even left in that second lap. If he can get himself to round 3 and then only do one more lap in round 2, he can then go for 2 laps and maybe just pull a little bit more out of it and have that in the bank.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily more effort by the driver. It's something they're going to do to that car. They're going to tweak the air pressure a little bit. I don't know. I'm sure they're all taped up pretty solid, but the team will make the difference. The driver gives 100% every time he goes on the track, but if they can make the car a little bit better, that's when you go faster.
So, it's kind of curious.
Larry, it's going to be a crowded house here in a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, here we are. We're over 3 minutes into this session, and we have not had the first car. I really thought we may have seen some go right on out there where they had a little bit of heat in their tires, but obviously the waiting game has begun.
Yeah, Larry, I guess that's what I would be curious to know is the thought process here. Like you said, on one hand, they have heat built up in the tires from the last time they ran, but the track has sat now for several minutes. Are they just wanting cars to go out and actually put some of that heat into the track before they go?
Well, I think we've seen all along, especially on this concrete surface, Jeff, that traction compound in that bottom groove, it definitely wants a little bit of heat, and the only way to get heat in it is to have race cars run across it.
And it seems like it gets better with every lap or every minute that cars are on the track.
Yeah, and Jeff, you know this. I mean, the tires don't just go from race temperatures to ice cold. They've got heat in the tire now. The tires are warm, and that's really what they wanted in that first round. And I think what Blaney ran that first round, I think you maybe be a little quicker in this round. I think we'll see the fastest lap in the final round. That's what we see here a lot.
I thought Ryan Blaney was
coming around to stage.
No, but he's actually just coming around to get staged. Scuffing of the tires in case he picked up any.
Or will he shoot straight through and go out? I kind of doubt it.
That's what, if you were the driver, that's what you would like to do. But he's being told, you pull in the inside line and wait. We'll tell you when to go.
Well, and again, I go back. There was only 0.2 of a second between first and 24th. So every 100th of a second that they can get and gain in their run is important for whether they're going to transfer through to round 3.
42 is rolling. 42 is leaving.
Remember, Larson was one of the first cars to go.
All yours will play on 5 laps again. They'll call you off if it's good. All yours straight up.
Clear track for Kyle Larson.
Interesting lane, watching him. He comes in a little bit high into turn 3, turns it down to the bottom, gets a big run off the corner. A little wide off of turn 2, but boy, did he get into the center.
He was digging.
And he was on the throttle.
Really good here, 3 and 4. Nice 3 and 4. Looks to me like. See what time he gets.
1477.
Pretty nice.
Pole winner here last August.
Really good 1 and 2 this time.
Oh, good 1 and 2. Messed up 3 and 4.
Screwed up 3 and 4.
I hope the driver can't hear that, because that would screw me up.
Well, I think you don't have to tell the driver when he makes a mistake. He knows at this joint, that back end steps out a little bit, that cures your lap time.
All right, here comes Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Eric Almirola, and Ricky Stenhouse, and Austin Dillon.
How about that green race car for Kevin Harvick? I mean, you know, all the years I drove when I had the Gatorade car and the Mountain Dew car, green is taboo. You don't want a green car. That's a green car. You stop up the side of the road with that car, the cows will try to eat it.
If I remember right, you won quite a few races in a green race.
I like green race cars. I like $50 bills, too.
It's the color of money. Riding with Austin Dillon on the left.
Hey, that's a good 3 and 4 for Kevin Harvick.
Here comes Boyer and Chase Elliott.
I'm not so sure that lap that Larson did is going to be enough. You might see him go out a second time.
Well, they planned to run 5 laps, and he came in after 2. Obviously didn't like the track or something.
Well, we're at a 62 right now. Amarillo at a 1462. We are just right on top of this 57 as a track record.
I'm going to be sorely disappointed if they don't hit it now.
I know. I will be, too. And I think they will be, too. I know that these drivers know this is a great opportunity to set a track record.
Boyer to second.
Guys, it looks like you may have to run in the mid-1470s to move on to round number 3.
Hey guys, 18 of Kyle Busch was in the tire tracks, I believe, of David Reagan. That might have a big impact on whether or not he transfers through.
Yeah, I don't think he could make it through at that time he put up.
Only ran an 80.
And this goes back to the point of Larry talking about cars and teams waiting on pit road. This is the risk that you take. If you wait, you're going to have more cars on track, and you can get blocked.
All right, bumping has begun. David Reagan's on the hot seat at Matt DiBenedetto at 1483.
Chase Elliott up there, 14.60. Darrell, we're so close.
3 100ths away.
3 100ths, baby. And the 12 car ain't gone yet.
Eric Jones, he's been a pole winner here. He's up to 3rd.
Well, Kyle Busch actually went and rolled right back out on the racetrack to try to get that lap better his lap to make sure he secures himself to round 3.
Well, a little wobble there getting into 3. See how it affects his lap.
McDowell on the hot seat now, 1478.
Kyle just didn't pick up anything to speak of. Kyle Busch. Jimmy Johnson's out. He's pretty fast today. A pole sitter from last week. Nice to see that for him.
Pretty nice lap here. Blaney's putting together. Had a little bobble through 3 and 4.
Woohoo! Yes!
Yes! A new track record for Ryan Blaney.
RB. Woo! That was a heck of a lap.
1452 with an 8. That is half a tenth better than Denny Hamlin's track record from 2016.
Might just take it from someone who's driven a lot of laps here. That's incredible.
That is fast.
That's an amazing time.
And I think even yet, he might be able to go even a little bit faster in round 3.
And again, Blaney's only run 2 hard laps, 1 in each round.
I think it really showed in this particular round. I know that the tires seem to not give up much, but the newer the tire, the faster you should be able to go.
Jimmy Johnson up to 6th. Harvick on the bubble now, 1470. 20 seconds.
Up to 9th. Pushes Harvick outside the top 12.
I think this is going to about do it. Kyle Larson trying to give it one more try. Will he make it to the clock? I believe he did. So he can come back.
Boy, he really got through 1 and 2 right on the bottom.
See what he does in 3 and 4.
Larson right now is 16th. He's out with a 73.
It's going to be
not going to do it.
He's going to do it.
87. Kyle Larson will not advance. Kevin Harvick in a tie with Alex Bowman, but it's for 13th. They will not advance. Ryan Newman and Paul Menard. Got Kyle Busch back there in 17th because 6 of his 7 Bristol wins came from a start of 12th or worse. But going to be a lot of fast drivers coming out of the middle. Here's Jamie.
And Kevin Harvick qualified 13th for Sunday's race. So a bunch of variables here. New left side tire. Actually, both sides are different. The traction compound. What's your take on qualifying here today?
Yeah, I just didn't do a very good job with my Hunt Brothers piece of Ford. The first 2 laps I screwed up. The last one I calmed down and got a decent lap and missed it by 1. So that's that one's usually it's on me. Usually the car's a lot faster than me on qualifying day at Bristol, and today was one of those days. So just proud of what we did with all the unknowns and all the guessing that went into it. They did a great job with the car, and our Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford drove fine. It's just missed the mark by that much.
Thanks, Kevin. Vince?
And I'm with Austin Dillon. It's not often that someone misses the final round of qualifying and still comes out of the car smiling, but you guys made a big jump in the right direction from practice to qualifying today.
Yeah, we were way off in practice, and looked through our notes. McLovin, Sparks, and Stockman did a good job. Dialed it in a lot closer. If I knew what I had going in here, I think we could have made the top 12. Small changes could have taken us a long way. So a 7.2, we're missing like 2 100. So I'm happy with where the car was. We can really improve on that for tomorrow. Starting position means so much here. So 15th, I'm happy with that. We can race from there.
Well done. Nice job. Mike?
So here we go for the Busch poll. 7 Fords, 4 Chevys, and 2 Toyotas. 3 from Team Penske plus the Wood Brothers. That's 4. 3 from Hendrick Motorsports, 2 from Stuart Haas, 2 from Joe Gibbs Racing, and Ryan Newman from Roush Fenway. As we get ready for them to roll off, you can get ready to roll with the inaugural PBA playoffs on FS1's Knockdown Mondays. Bowling's top 24 superstars compete head-to-head in a brand new bracket-style battle for $100 grand. PBA playoffs begin Monday at 7 Eastern, FS1 on the Fox Sports app.
All right, Mike, I mean, I don't see a reason not to go. Just get on out there, get you a lap. I mean, I think that's got heat in your tires. We only got 5 minutes. Let's get us a lap here, boys.
Eric Almirola heard you.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it done.
Well, and I think it depends on when you went round 2. There's like a sort of a time period that you want those tires to cool down. They've got it all mapped out as air pressure, and temperature in the tires, temperature in the track.
Well, Eric was really good in that second round, and so I think he wants to get out there and see what he can do.
And I saw the front of this car hit a bump going into turn 1, had a little bounce to it. Didn't get through 1 and 2 quite as good as he'd like.
84, that's not a bad lap.
Again, the car went up the racetrack, just a half a car went down through 1 and 2.
So, fellas, why wouldn't you just run the whole 5 minutes out?
Well, I always would just run until I felt like I got my best lap and I started to feel the grip go away in the tires. And you could see right there, sparks flying. Eric Almirola actually tried to do exactly what you said, Mike, and run maybe another lap, even drive deeper into the corner, and it bottomed out. Sparks were flying.
Yeah, he ran a 1474. That's a nice lap.
Very nice.
That's not a pole lap, but it's a good starting spot for him. He's going to be in probably the bottom half of the top 12 here.
He ran a 62 in round 2.
I believe, from what I've seen so far, I believe that Blaney is the guy that's got a little something in the reserve, and he's already broken the track record.
Now the track right here, your cars take a big set as they hit that banking, and you can see the right side. There's some metal that's underneath that car that bottomed out and sparked.
And Mike, when it does it just for an instant, the driver doesn't know what the car's going to do next. So he's got this doubt in his mind. He's got to get back to the throttle, which he does. But that's when it hits and sparks, you're not sure which way it's going to go. Another car pretty darn fast in the second round.
The Wood Brothers have a good history here.
Yeah, and they've got a good alliance with Team Penske, so all those cars seem to show a lot of speed here today in qualifying.
I think of one race we did here, Mike, when the 21 and the 43 were having a heck of a battle.
Yep.
I believe Elliott Sadler was driving the car, and I think Elliott Sadler won that race.
He and John Andretti battled.
John Andretti, yeah.
I want to say hello to John, who says he's back on the chemo coaster. And boy, what a nice guy. And John Andre, great racer. Want to wish you all the best. We're pulling for you.
Well, I tell you, a car that looks fast, Mike, right now to me is that 9 car, Chase Elliott. That looked like a steamy lap.
Whoa, 14:56 for Chase.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's definitely going to put some pressure on somebody like Ryan Blaney, because Ryan Blaney's going to have to run a perfect lap to beat him.
Well, that broke the track record.
The previous one.
The previous,
yes.
not the current one that Ryan Blaney has now, but that broke the old track record. And that 9 car looks so smooth around the racetrack.
Here comes FRB.
You got it.
That's fast, Ryan Blaney.
Got it.
1 minute to go in the session.
You can just see how good Ryan Blaney's car rotates through the center. That right now in the green.
Oh, he got it. I think that hurt him.
Oh, yeah, lost it right there.
Yeah, he got it up off the bottom a little bit. I'm not so sure that. I think that 9 car was going on the apron down there, and you're going so fast, Mike. It just takes a little distraction, and that messed up his 3 and 4.
Not this time.
No, it looks like he's gotten a little bit tight. You can see him losing the nose and getting up the racetrack just a little bit. He's got to regroup, maybe try to do it this last run. But you can just see how the car's not quite turning as good now, and he's going to.
And the second lap was slower, a 78. 17 seconds to go. A couple of Fords still out there. The Penske cars of Keselowski and Blaney. They're both going to make it back and be able to get one more lap in, trying to knock those Hendrick Chevys off the front row. Here comes Keselowski. Logano
Oh, it's a moment for Brad.
Saves loose.
And it's over. And it'll be a Hendrick Chevy front row for Sunday in Bristol. Chase Elliott has his 5th career pole.
Mike, I don't know what the average age of those first 4 guys are, but I'm thinking it's probably somewhere in the low 20s, because those are a bunch of young lions that are on that front row.
And that makes Hendrick 2 weeks in a row sitting on the pole.
3 months shy of their 23rd birthday.
My goodness. I knew it was a bunch of youngsters up there.
William Byron, second front row start in a row. Now, Ryan Blaney is the track record holder. He'll be the ghost car, and he's the car to beat here. Down into 1, Blaney with an edge.
You can see, yeah, he inches ahead. I think had Ryan Blaney known he was ahead at this point, he might not have had an issue in 3 and 4. I don't know if he just drove in there a little bit deeper. The car just didn't cut with the front, but you can see Chase Elliott really got through 3 and 4 back to the start-finish line. Jamie?
And big congrats from his crew chief you saw there, Alan Gustafson, and his teammates. I mean, the history here. Your dad won this race 7 years before you were born, and now you get the pole. How big of a deal is it at Bristol?
Yeah, it's awesome. Just, to really been wanting to pull outside of Daytona or Talladega for a long time now. So I feel like I was finally able to, contribute from my end a little bit more and get a pole that my team certainly deserves. So had a fast Napa Chevy. Appreciate everybody's efforts at HMS and the engine department, chassis shop. Everybody back home has been working really hard to try to get better. So this is a big deal. Ryan asked me if this was payback for Phoenix. So it's I guess what goes around comes around. It was just nice to be in there. I think he did me a little bit of a favor. It looked like he messed up there in 3 and 4. He'd have been tough. So we'll have some work to do, I think, for Sunday, but we'll go to work tomorrow and try to get it driving good for 500 laps. Long time.
There were so many unknowns. I talked to you before you even came out here, and you're like, we're not sure which line we're running. But some others, like Ryan Blaney, tight. Others got loose. What was the difference for you in round 3?
Yeah, we were kind of tight. Every round, I felt like we got tighter, and we were freeing up as each round went, too. So I actually thought we got a little behind it for that last round, and I kind of missed my lap. I didn't feel like I got a perfect one, and I was frustrated because I thought it could have been a little bit better. And as tight as it was, I mean, I was looking there at one point, and 12th was like a 70, and we were second or third at like a 60. So, I mean, it was a tenth and a half was separating first through 13th or 12th. So, tight field when it's running around the bottom like this, and I'm sure it's going to change a lot for Sunday. So, it's awesome. Happy to get a pole. Really cool. But just a starting spot. So, we got to go to work for race trim and I am excited. Take that back. I'm excited to have that first pit box down there. That's a big deal here. So we'll go to work Sunday.
Chase Elliott gets his first pole of the year, Vince.
Well, it's interesting watching those ghost cars of Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney, because squeezed right in between there that we didn't see was the 24 of William Byron. Front row for the second week in a row, third time this season. How big of steps is this 24 group taking?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, to be 1-2 for Hendrick Motorsports 2 weeks in a row. I hate to be on the second end of it, but it's still fun to start on the front row, and I feel like we're making huge strides in the speed of our cars, and it just makes things easier at the track. I feel like Chad and I are starting to gel a little more. So thanks to Exalta, everyone at Hendrick Motorsports for this race car, Chevrolet, obviously. This is fun, so hopefully we can keep it going on Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of smiles down in this camp, guys.
And the string continues. We've not had a repeat pole winner this season. 8 race in the front row with teammate Chase Elliott. Let's hear from the track record holder, Jamie.
Well, all eyes were on Ryan Blaney. He won round 1, round 2, and round 3. Little bit of a hiccup. What happened?
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't matter winning the first 2. I just got greedy. I just got really greedy into 3. I blitzed it in there too fast and got loose and slid up off the VHT and just kind of ruined the next lap after that because it was slow coming to the next one. So should have been a little bit more patient than that. We had a great car. I mean, all through practice and through the rounds, a great PPG Ford Mustang, but just greed got me into 3, and I probably would have broken that track record I put down in the second round on the last lap, but in the last round, but just messed that one up. But so that's my fault. But not a bad starting spot for Sunday's race.
Definitely be fun to watch. Ryan Blaney coming from 3rd.
Well, here's the starting lineup. All Chevy front row, Ford and Toyota row 2.
Mike, that's the youngest front 4th to ever start the race here.
Wow.
Average age.
And a great run for Eric Jones. This is a great track for him, too, so I don't think you're going to just see him up front qualifying.
And a lot of contenders from row 5 on back.
Boy, you certainly got that right. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski. I mean, there's a lot of names that can win this race from that section of the grid.
Yeah, Kyle Elliott or Kyle Busch back there in the 9th row. But listen, when you're back there like that, you got to remember something. It's a 500-lap race. And sometimes you just got to let the race come to you. You can't always go up there and take it. You got to let it come to you.
We didn't mention Ross Chastain because he did not get out on track to make a qualifying lap. He'll start 37. So there is the cherished pit stall number 1 at the end of the front stretch. The last pit stall there. Here are where the last 6 Bristol winners came from on pit road.
We talked about how important that pit road is and pit road stalls. That number 1 pit stall, I just think you can run a cleaner race from there. You can just shoot out and cross that line to end the pit road and get position. But a little bit surprised with those on the back straightaway here in recent years.
Yeah, Jeff, I think what happens if you get on the back straightaway, you can pick your pit around cars that maybe you think you'll be a lap ahead of. So maybe you get in a little better, get out a little bit better. And then how you run this 3rd and 4th turn, I think that makes a little bit of difference, too.
So tomorrow, join us for breakfast and practice, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time for the Cup Series. And there's the rest of your day on FS1. Congratulations to Ryan.